Hi, welcome back to my podcast. My name is Debbie. Welcome to the Inner Labyrinth. I know it's been some time since I last posted a video. I feel like, despite me talking about overcoming your resistance, I am also a part of that. I talk about things that matter to me, things that I'm going through, right? And what I'm going through is having to overcome my own mind in order to do what it is that I need to do, right? It seems like I can't quite outrun myself, and I know this, but whatever you know that you're supposed to do, you're going to end up doing it because whatever else you try to fill your life with, and maybe it's really fun hobbies, activities, travel, relationships, friendships, even if your life is full, if you're not doing the one thing that you're supposed to be doing that you know you're meant to be doing, you're not going to feel satisfied. And that's pretty much how I've been feeling. I feel like I've had so much beauty in these past months, and I still feel like I come back to this. And it's interesting because I did try to file it away and tell myself, like, no, it's fine. Like the questions kind of came up like, what do you even have to say? Like, what do you even have to say? And I noticed that for myself, at least, whenever I'm making art, whether that be painting or writing, it usually comes from pain, right? It usually comes from me needing to get something out and having to find the right words or medium to express that, to get it out of me, right? So it doesn't live within me. And I feel like that was happening with the podcast. I feel like life was pretty good and life is still pretty good, right? But it's almost like the fire goes away when there's no more live pain. And then even when you're in live pain, you don't want to share when you're wounded. You don't want to share when you're mid healing, right? So it almost becomes like it's never the right time to share. And that's a very safe space to be in, right? To think, well, it's never the right time. It's never the right time. But then time goes by and you end up not doing the thing you know you're supposed to do. So, for example, me with this podcast, like, I know I meant to do it. Like, I know it. It's in my bones. I feel it. And no matter what else I do, I won't be able to escape that feeling because it's almost like I'd be ignoring my calling. And so now, instead of seeing my podcast as obstacles I have to overcome to finally get on camera, right, to have the mic in front of my face, I'm now taking off the obstacles that were there. So, for example, the green screen is gone because that in itself is like it's a setup. You have to like roll it up. You have to like put it in the software, like hope that the green screen like it applies. You can remove it. So it's been this whole process where mentally I'm doing these gymnastics. And as you're doing these logistics, it does interfere with your creativity. It does interfere with what you have to say because there's so much to even get to that point, right? To even get to this point, there'd have to be so many obstacles, the right time, the right mic, the right headspace, the right mentality, the right everything. And so instead, I just took off the green screen. I simplified this. There's going to be less editing with the other episodes. I did edit it less, like not less, but I did edit it more because I was trying to, for example, take away the ums or the likes or the long pauses. But now it's just going to be me talking because I feel like that's also another obstacle. All of this takes time. All of this takes time, right? Like the editing process for me is my least favorite part. It's my least favorite part. It's pretty cool to hear myself because when I'm playing it back, I can hear myself and I can catch things I didn't catch before. And it's like I'm getting to hang out with myself. And I think I've mentioned that before. But it's not like fun for me. It doesn't light me up inside to sit there and edit out my ums. It doesn't light me up to like take out the green screen. Like it doesn't light me up. So what does light me up is this, the talking part, right? The talking to you as if you were my homie, like my friend, someone that I'm exploring ideas and myself and what's going on in my mind and maybe what's going on inside yours, because I do feel like we go through similar things. I mean, I remember coming across something. I don't know if it was a quote or a book or where I found it, but the essence of it was whatever you felt, you're not the only one in human existence who has felt that. Like you're not alone. Because I feel like it's very easy to get in our heads and to think, oh, no one feels how I feel. No one will get it. No one will ever get it. But humanity's had a pretty long lifespan, I would say. Somebody somewhere at some point in time has felt how you feel right now. And yes, it's unique to you because it's your filter, it's your life, but you're not alone in your emotions. Emotions are something that happen to humanity as a whole, right? So I feel like it's important that if you feel like you have something to say or a calling to do or a painting to paint or something to write, that you do it and you take away all the obstacles that keep you from that connection to yourself, really. Because when I do something like this, I know that it's feeding my soul. I can feel it in lifetime, that it's good for me. It's helping me, at least one person. And I feel like because I feel called, it's going to help other people too. And then this inspires my connection with myself, with other people. And so I feel like, at least for myself, I'm kind of learning to simplify my life. And for example, I deleted Instagram from my phone, which to me is a pretty big deal because I do feel like social media kills your creativity. Your creativity exists when there's space for you to explore, for you to feel, for you to have the energy to create something. Creating something isn't a process that takes no resources. Like, no, it takes resources, right? And social media, at least for me, had become this place where I could feel this illusion of connection with others, where I could feel like, oh, I'm sending my friend a reel and I know she's going to like it, or he's going to like it. We're exchanging reels, so we're connected. And on some level, that's true, right? You do feel a sense of connection in that way, but it's not fulfilling, at least for me. It doesn't fill my soul. And when the form of connection becomes sending reels, that means that I have to go into the reel realm, right? Reels are like TikTok. It's like a short form stories. You just swipe and it's a mini video, usually about 30 seconds or so. And so for me, something else is that I have a very addictive personality. I know this about myself. I embrace it, right? And I try to use that for good. So for me, with social media, for example, specifically Instagram, the reels, everything about that system is set up in a way that it feels so good. It gives you all the dopamine that you could possibly want. And I was getting all the dopamine and I was spending hours on that. I could easily spend hours on that every day and then feel like it wasn't a waste of time because I somehow put something out there, shared something with my friends that they're going to respond to, and they'll share something with me that I'll respond to. And so I'm having communications, I'm connecting with my friends. But it doesn't feed me. It doesn't actually feed me. It's like empty carbs. It's empty carbs. It's like me eating just pasta all day and then wondering why I'm hungry later. I'm like, you didn't have any protein. You didn't have a balanced meal. That's why you're still hungry. And so for me, I feel like social media was sucking my life away, my creativity. And then I was left with nothing to create something, especially something original, something completely new, right? Because this doesn't exist. Everything I'm doing right now is new. So as like, for example, if you do something, you write a short story, you do your own podcast, that's new. That takes effort, an actual huge amount of effort, even though it might not seem like it. It's not just an external putting things together, getting the mic, setting it up. No, it's like an internal process, right? And you need to help yourself along in order to create what you want to create. So that means removing the obstacles that get in your way. So for example, I used an app, it's called Freedom. And you can go ahead and set it up so that it blocks a specific app or your entire phone or all the apps. So for me, I was using it and I set a specific time. I was like, okay, let's do 15 minutes a day of Instagram. So from 12 to 12:15. And I did that and it was great, except that I was fixing my sleep schedule. So sometimes I would miss it and I'd wake up later. But I didn't actually miss it. I didn't miss being on Instagram. Like I remember even missing the days and I was like, oh, I guess I'll see the reels tomorrow. Like, it was just, I felt relief and I did feel freedom from being sucked into that because it's almost like an obligation. It's almost like your mind is so used to it. From the moment that I installed the app, I set it to 15 minutes a day, right? And so for that day, that was done. And immediately after downloading that Freedom app, I noticed that I was watching myself click the Instagram app and getting the notification of, hey, like it's blocked until tomorrow, basically. And I remember watching myself almost like an out of body experience because you're like, what am I doing? Like I want to do other things. And you just see like my thumb on my phone, swiping, getting the Instagram tapping. Because at that point it becomes instinct. Like that's your new normal. Your brain has been wired now to seek that dopamine fix from there. And so that was interesting to me. But ever since I started implementing that about maybe, I want to say a little under 2 weeks ago, I've been feeling a lot more energized and just good. Just, I feel like my mental health is a lot better. I'm able to actually do the things I want to do throughout my day. I'm able to have more ideas. I'm writing more. I'm picking up new hobbies. I'm feeling more social too, because I feel like now that I'm not feeding myself this illusion of communication and connection, now I'm actually seeking that out in person. There's no substitute for that. And in person connections are a lot more fulfilling than over your phone. You're just looking at your freaking phone all day. Like, that's not normal. I don't think it's normal to be literally just swiping on your phone just all day, just swiping, swiping, swiping. I don't think that's, I don't know. I don't feel good doing it, right? I don't recommend it. And lately, these past 2 or 3 days, I've been like getting on Instagram just like on my desktop, like checking messages because I that is how people communicate, right? If they have like an event or something, like friends let me know, like, hey, this is happening tonight. Can you come? And then I miss it. And I'm like, "Ah, okay, let me once in a while get on Instagram, respond to some things. But on Instagram, like, it's not made to be addictive on desktop, at least so far that I found. It's not made to be addictive. And so for me, it's very easy to just log off, like respond, log off, like look at the things that I care about, log off. But it's so interesting how social media can really become a substitute for connection. And I think whenever I start reaching for something like that, it means that something in my own life is missing. Because, for example, I was fortunate enough to travel about a month ago for 3 weeks to Portugal, and that was amazing. But I also noticed that I wasn't on Instagram, that even when people would send me reels or communicate through there, I felt an ick. I felt an ick whenever I would be on reels, like even seeing people's messages, like it was like stay connected with me. And I don't know, but I didn't feel the sense of like being pulled to the addiction. It felt kind of gross. I was like, why would I do that? I'm in Portugal. I'm somewhere new. Like, why would I be doing that to myself to like, so that really gave me a really strong difference because when you're in something that becomes your normal. And I feel like being somewhere new showed me really clearly how using reels truly feels. And it doesn't feel good. It feels like I'm giving something else the permission to take my life force away. And I know that sounds dramatic, but that's literally what it feels like for me. Because life force is your passion, your fire, your curiosity, your questioning, your energy for the day. Social media, for me, takes all of that and it leaves me with nothing. So then I'm drained. And then what else is there to do now that I'm drained? Probably watch Netflix or something, catch up on something, So it becomes this switch from creator into consumer. Social media really does want you to be a consumer. It makes the money for you to put your attention there. And I know that it feels like it's free attention, free reels customized for me, things that I find funny that my friends will find funny. But what is that saying? If something is free, you're the product. Your attention, you're giving it away. And you need that to live a fulfilling life. You need that, especially if you're creative, especially if you're a creator of some sort. Do what you want, but you shouldn't be on social media, at least not that much. I think things are okay in moderation because that is a form of connection, etc. But then use an app, right? Because, for example, on my phone, there's this thing where you can go ahead and block it, and it'll give you a notification like, "Hey, like you have 10 minutes left." But because it wasn't a hard lock out from the Instagram thing, it just said, "Oh, time's up," and then I would just click like, "Okay, cool. Let's continue using the phone, though. Let's continue using Instagram." So my willpower, at least, is not one that can just be like, okay, 15 minutes is 15 minutes, 15 minutes is 15 minutes, so that's all you get. No, my energy, my attitude is more like, okay, that's 15 minutes, just 10 more, just 10 more, just 15 more, just 15 more. And then an hour passes by. Those 15 minutes, whenever I did log on through my phone, because I don't have the app on my phone anymore since I don't use it. So I wanted to make space on my phone. Got rid of it. So when I did use it for those 15 minutes, though, every day for like a couple days, those 15 minutes flew by. You have no idea. You have no idea how much your time flies by. when you actually set it on a timer. It doesn't feel like time is flying by, but it is. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a tangent, but not really because it just crossed my mind and this is kind of in the same realm. I also can't really enjoy, I mean, I do enjoy it, but I can't really enjoy video games. Like, for example, on my phone, I recently got Slay the Spire. Before then, it was Pokemon, the trading card game. But for example, with the Slay the Spire, it's a really fun game, but I played that for 2 days straight. That's all I did. I discovered it, so I played it for the rest of that day. The next day, I woke up and I played that the entire day. Besides like breaks for eating, but I probably played it while I was eating. I don't know. It was just like I could feel my energy getting lower and lower because I'm a creator. I felt like depleted. But it's all, I guess I've never gambled, but in the slot machines, I think it's kind of like that. That's what it feels like because you just want more and more and more, but you're also aware like this isn't good for me. Like hours have passed by, but it's almost like I can't stop, right? And so I deleted that from my phone also after 2 days because I'm like, this cannot be my life. And then I thought, I guess I could make a Twitch and play and I can invite people to watch and kind of make a living like that. But then I was like, I don't want to be that person. I'm not against that. You know, everyone do what you want, but I don't want to be like, is that going to be my life? Being in front of a computer playing a game? Because I don't feel good, right? I don't feel good doing it. It's addictive and it feels good on some level, but deep down it doesn't fill me. Like it doesn't actually, it's an empty carbs thing. Before that was Pokemon. I had that for longer. It was also very addictive. Also went through like a weekend of just playing that game. So I guess it depends on your personality. But for me, I found that if something claims my attention or seizes it somehow, and then I don't get anything in return except this feeling of emptiness, then that's not good for me. That's not something that's sustainable for me, for my life. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting how easy it is to get distracted. And I think a part of us kind of wants a distraction. I think it's nice in moderation to be distracted because it kind of gives your brain a break from thinking so much or analyzing or problem solving. But at least for me, I found that mobile games and things like Instagram being on my phone don't do anything that's, I guess it's weighing, right? Do the pros outweigh the cons, vice versa? And for me, no. No, they don't. The cons win. It's very con heavy for me. And now that I don't have these, what feels like traps, honestly, like now that I don't have these traps on my phone, I feel free to just do things. To just, can you believe that? To just do things, just do more things that I want to do. And it's so fun. It's just so fun. You realize like what actually lights you up when you make space for it. It's kind of a wild thing. It sounds so like simple, like I'm rediscovering something that's very common, but my lived experience has been, yeah, that social media kills your creativity. It has been. And I feel like it's important that if you have something to make, if you have a calling, that you make space for that and that you remain aware within yourself. Hey, is this feeding me? Whatever it is this feeding me? Do the pros still outweigh the cons? Am I guess, yeah. If I were to be doing these exact same things every single day, do I like the outcome? And let's say I live my life exactly like this every single day for 10 years. 10 years from now, what will I look back on this moment and be proud of myself at what I made, what I created, or what I didn't make? So that's how I see my life a lot. Is like in the future, would I be proud that I made this podcast? Would I be happy about it? Or would I rather just play a video game? And the answer for me becomes very simple. And again, it's not like I'm bashing anything. I'm just saying for me, what works and what brought me there and the outcome of my decision making, in hopes that maybe you yourself can also see where this might apply in your life, where you might be limiting yourself and holding yourself back without even realizing it. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.